YouTube changes every year, and in 2024, it's very different than it was even just a few years ago. So much has changed on the platform. I mean, shorts have been introduced, video podcasts are now a huge thing on YouTube, live streaming is now more important than ever, and so many other changes have been happening on YouTube. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about which things actually matter in regards to growing your YouTube channel. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Video Creator Show. My name is Augie Johnston. I'm here with my co-host Grant Ball, and let's go ahead and dive right into today's episode. So the first thing is this. Number one, subscribers no longer matter. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm talking about the algorithm here, right? Back in the day, if somebody hit subscribe on your channel and they opened up the app, they were going to probably be showing your latest video. It would pop up there. But now with the whole kind of YouTube algorithm recommending all the videos and all that kind of stuff in the For You tab or shelf on a YouTube channel where YouTube is recommending more of your videos when somebody clicks onto your channel, subscribers just aren't as important. What are kind of your thoughts on that, Grant? Do you agree with that, or do you think that's just blasphemy?
I agree with it pretty much. I feel like the subscribe button is more of a show me more of this button. Like, if you like something, you should subscribe. It does mean something. I wouldn't say subscribers are meaningless, but it's not like by hitting subscribe, you are guaranteeing that this creator is forever going to show up on your feed. It just doesn't work like that anymore. So in that sense, subscribers don't necessarily matter. So like, if I subscribe to a channel and then they start posting videos that have nothing to do with the video I subscribe to or whatever, then there's a good chance that I'm not going to watch those. And then if they end up making videos that would cater to me kind of in the future, those aren't going to show up on my feed anymore because the algorithm saw that I didn't click on their last 3 videos or whatever. So now it's not going to show me new ones. So in that sense, subscribers are meaningless because it's not at all a guarantee that you are going to see all of their videos. So I pretty much agree.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and the thing is, like, it just puts more emphasis on like quality videos. Because if somebody does subscribe to my channel and then I just publish like poor videos, like bad videos, then it's not going to recommend them regardless. So that's kind of an issue to me. I don't like that. How do you feel about that personally, though?
I mean, I feel like all videos in an ideal world, if you subscribe, should show up on your feed, even if you don't watch them. I feel like that's important. And also getting punished for having videos that don't do as well does feel very like wonky to me. I don't like that necessarily. It makes YouTube channels feel more fragile, I think. And being a YouTuber feels more fragile. Like, if you're not constantly meeting or exceeding expectations, then you're actually falling behind. Like, I feel like that makes it harder to experiment. If you try something really weird, then unless people watch it, there's only so many of those you get. And that can be scary. So I don't necessarily think it's a good thing. I understand why YouTube does it. They're trying to maximize the amount of time people spend on the platform. So they're only going to show you videos you're definitely going to click on. So yeah, I don't know. It's a rough situation. We could talk for hours about that, but yeah, that's about how I feel about it.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that like you got to be broad. And that's the thing I don't like about it is like you can't be like super technical with your videos anymore. Like I can't make a video on like, some complicated, AI something that only, really the people that are really into like AI that would be able to like kind of follow along and pick up on that. Like it's just not broad enough. It's too niche down. And I don't like that because that's the kind of content that I like to make and consume is like the very niche detailed stuff where like you get into like the tactical things and basically I feel like the way that YouTube's going and the direction it's heading is like everything's just going to have to be broad. Like for example, if I wanted to make like a business video, like it'd be better to make a video like how this side project made me $10,000 last month. Like that would be a good broad title where people are like, oh, I want to make 10,000. Everybody wants to make $10,000, so that everybody can click on that video. But if it was like this Facebook pixel that if the video is about like a Facebook pixel that I installed in like a special way or something like that, some kind of technical title, then it wouldn't get shown and people wouldn't click on it. So it's like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? It's like, it's just tailored towards making more like commercial, broad, like not like as valuable tactical content.
Yeah, and I think the kind of workaround for that always is like you need to insert your personality into it somehow. Like, gone are the days where you could make a how-to video about reinstalling your blinds or something, and then get 10 million views. It's harder now. You need to kind of build a narrative around what you're doing, a personality around what you're doing. There's just a lot of different ways that you have to innovate with those styles of videos that are really specific. It's like you almost need to lean into the specificity so hard that you become a character in doing it. Like, it's if you can build a narrative around why you're doing this, what it means to you, if you can somehow involve your friends in it. Like, there was one YouTuber who built like a rock'em sock'em robot machine where like his friends were uh, he was able to like make people's muscles contract and make people punch with like an Xbox controller. It was like a literal rock'em sock'em robot machine with his friends, and he could like move them back and forth. Yeah, like that seems very specific, right? But it's very fun, and it was also part of a bigger thing that he was working on. So like, and he went into the whole like drama behind it, why he's doing it, what it means to him, blah 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 blah. So it's more complicated now. Like, you can't just get right to it. It's got to be a story. There's got to be personality.
Yeah, and it's good for the creative person, right? Like that's what creative people want to do. But so many people are just creating videos to grow their business or something like that. And for those people, they're like, I'm just trying to deliver value by educating my audience. I don't want to tell a story. I don't want to have to make this super broad. I want to teach somebody how to set up an email autoresponder. Like that's what the video is. Like it is valuable content. It's free. Someone could go and watch that and they could learn how to do that and they could do it. But those are not really the kind of videos that are getting pushed out by the algorithm, unfortunately. So just keep that in mind as you're creating videos, as you want to create broad topics. And in regards to subscribers, it's great to get them. I think it does give your video engagement and it does tell the algorithm like, hey, this is a good video. People are watching it and hitting subscribe. But still, I think the king is click-through rate and watch time. Average view duration kind of go hand in hand. So those are kind of the things you need to kind of optimize for. So what about tags? I mean, I remember back in like 2014 when I was creating a bunch of videos, 2015, tags were like super important and we were like doing a lot of keyword research and all that kind of stuff. Tags aren't so important these days. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I think tags, compared to the rest of the metadata that you put on a video or compared to the thumbnail or the title, least important. Like, I say put the tags in, find the best tags you can, but it's not necessarily worth an hour of your time to put the most perfect beautiful tags on your video. Hashtags can be good, but yeah, tags themselves, I think they were just abused a lot over the years. Like, the system for them, it sounds very dramatic, but I think people were tagging things that were irrelevant. It's too easy to tag something that isn't actually relevant. It's almost like YouTube realized the limitations of the tag system and now kind of put them pretty low on the tier as far as importance. So yeah, in 2024, I would say tags are worth doing, but don't spend too much time on them. It just ain't worth it.
Yeah, totally. Tags. Yeah, I see so many creators, like a lot of big creators, like they didn't even put tags because you can see like what videos have tags using
hmm
different tools. And you'll look at some videos like this video has like 10 million views. It doesn't even have tags. So
hmm
that's
Yeah.
definitely something.
Yeah, like I have some YouTuber friends who also just never tag their videos, and their channel has over 1 million subscribers, and their videos do very well. And the videos either have no tags or like a few. It just is a total afterthought.
And I've even seen like a presentation at Vid Summit by Tim Schmoyer, who's kind of a YouTube expert, and it was all about how YouTube is really using computer vision now, and using their own tagging system on the back end, where they don't need you to put tags in there because they can use computer vision to see what's on the screen, and then they can use other AI to transcribe the video to see what you're saying. And so they have the full picture right there of what exactly is in the video. So, I mean, if you're tagging, something that's not really what is in the video because you're trying to rank for a search term or something, like, YouTube's not falling for that anymore, although they used to back in the day.
Oh, they fell for it hard.
Yeah, totally. And, with my basketball training channel, Baller Bootcamp, that was our main play. My main play was to rank for search terms. That's how I was getting views. And I was doing it pretty successfully. And yeah, I wouldn't say I was doing anything like unethical or anything, but yeah, I was definitely stuffing a bunch of keywords in the titles and in the tag areas. It's kind of like just an old kind of gray hat, black hat method.
Attaboy.
Yeah, what worked then was SEO play, but nowadays not so much. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some other things that are kind of changing, because YouTube has come out recently and said that, watch time's great, click-through rate's great, all that stuff is great, but kind of a new metric that we're trying to develop is viewer satisfaction. Like, how satisfied is somebody when they click on your video and watch it? And they're using all these metrics together to kind of come up with that score. But one of the things they do is surveys. So you'll probably see it now and then when you're watching a video. Instead of an ad at the beginning of the video, you get like a little survey. Like, the question will be something like, how relevant is this video to what you normally watch, or something like that. Was that about right, Grant? What's the question that you normally see pop up there?
Yeah, like, how satisfied are you? And then there's like a spectrum of emotional faces that you can select. Yeah, I have gotten those surveys. I don't remember if I've ever actually filled one out. I think I filled at least one out at one point. I mean, it takes like 2 seconds. But yeah, I think it's good YouTube is doing that. I feel like the main reason I've either only filled one out, or you maybe even haven't at all, is because it's hard to know if I'm like satisfied with the video most of the time. I feel like a lot of the videos I watch, I'm just like distracting myself. It's like YouTube is just like a vice or something. It's it's like, I don't know. Am I satisfied with this video? Like, it was like, what would I rather be watching? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't understand the question. I'm just trying to fill the void here. Okay, YouTube. Like, am I satisfied? No, I'm not. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
It's not the video's fault necessarily.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's funny. Like, yeah, I'm satisfied. You just wasted 10 minutes of my life right there. But yeah, I think they do need to like modify the question. That's kind of a good point. Like, it should be more specific. Like, what did you like most about, or why did you click on this video? Like, that would be good. And then give you some options there and you can select one. That'd be probably more informative for them. But basically, kind of what I'm taking away from this, what they're doing is like, you gotta be careful with clickbait now. Like, strong clickbaiting will actually hurt you. Everybody's like, we got to get the click-through rate is everything. But if people are clicking on a video and just leaving after the first 10 seconds, like, that's actually going to hurt the video. I mean, you might get an initial rush of views because of the clickbait, because they're going to give you those impressions when you release a video. People might be clicking, but if people are just leaving YouTube after that, then that video will stop getting impressions pretty quickly. Would you agree with that, or what's your thoughts?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, if the video isn't delivering on what was promised, then it's not going to do well. It just isn't. And there's some wiggle room there. I'm trying to think of examples of clickbait where it did kind of work out. But yeah, overall, I mean, you just can't do the bait and switch like you used to be able to. YouTube is too watch time based now. Like, they can tell if a bunch of people are clicking on a video and only watching the first 20 seconds because they realize that this video is not what was promised. So yeah, it just generally, you got to be really careful with clickbait. It's almost like clickbait shouldn't be clickbait. You should actually do something that is interesting and then find a good way to title it and describe it concisely. So yeah, shit doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't.
Yeah. And so I think, just the main kind of tip is like, whatever your title is, whatever your thumbnail is, like, as soon as somebody clicks on the video, the biggest tip is to just deliver right away, saying, in this video, you're going to get this and this and this. And that kind of like just reaffirms to the viewer that they're actually going to get what they click for. If you leave them down this long rabbit chase of a story and all this kind of stuff, and then you don't actually give them what they clicked on to the very end, that could hurt. that could hurt you. You know, you need to kind of bring them along and let them know they're going to get what they clicked on. That's kind of like a best practice for writing a hook, right? Is the first thing is confirm the viewer is going to get what they clicked on for. And, you know, I heard Patty Galloway recently say that as part of his hook writing strategy is to confirm to the viewer they're going to get what they clicked on for. So just a little quick tip. Okay, so the newest thing that, you know, didn't start in 2024, but it's shorts, right? We're all trying to figure out, are shorts good for your channel? Are shorts bad for your channel? And what's like the whole purpose of shorts? So what is your opinion on shorts? Is it a good for growth? Is it bad for growth? I've heard some people say like you should have a whole separate shorts channel, like, you know, create a whole nother channel for your shorts. Don't post any shorts. They'll hurt your channel. Like, what are your thoughts?
So I feel like shorts are good for growth. Are they good for overall channel health? That's a different question entirely. And I actually think the answer is a lot more subjective than objective. So with shorts, if the style of content for your shorts is, we'll say, like in the same spirit and pacing as your long form content, then you can post shorts on your main channel, so to speak. Like, you don't need a separate shorts channel. But I think with a lot of people, their short content is a lot like faster paced. It isn't necessarily going to appeal to the same people who would be watching their long form content. You know, maybe their long form content is slower paced, but more impactful if you have some patience. Whereas if you're making shorts to cater to a short attention span, but your long form content isn't doing that, then what you're going to end up seeing if your shorts succeed is you get all these subscribers and people who want to see your shorts, but they don't care about your long form content because there's not enough similarity between the pacing and the spirit of the videos, so to speak. Like, there needs to be a really coherent like connection between the videos. I think actually Van Neistat, Casey Neistat's brother, is doing well with shorts. He has at least a few that are over a million, at least one that is over a million views. And a lot of them get hundreds of thousands of views, and they're literally just like clips from his videos. So obviously the feeling is exactly the same. So I'm sure there are a lot of people discovering him through shorts because they're literally just clips from his videos. So like you know what to expect. So yeah, I would say if your shorts feel a lot different subjectively to you than your long form content, then I would make a separate channel. If you feel like no, these feel the same, they're just shorter, then keep them on the same channel. And that's got to be your call. Like, that's a very subjective call.
Yeah, that's true. I think that, you know, some people are just shorts watchers, you know, so they're not going to watch your long forms. I heard Alex Hormozy say that, you know, hey, what we found is that, you know, a lot of people will subscribe because of watching shorts. So that's good, right? People will watch shorts, they're swiping, they like it, they subscribe, that'll happen. But they won't go and watch your long form. So either they're only shorts watchers, meaning they're using the app mostly just to watch shorts, or your shorts are just not, kind of like you said, connecting to the long form because they're not similar. I think that shorts should be a part of your strategy and you should be using them because they will get you subscribers. But I think that the algorithm, the way it works is if somebody watches some of your shorts, next time they open the app, they're not going to get recommended one of your long forms. Like, it's not just automatically going to be like, oh, they watched one of my shorts, so I got a good chance. And they watched it all the way through, and, you know, they shared it and commented and subscribed. Doesn't mean that they're going to get suggested a long form, but I do think they would probably get suggested another short. So I don't know if on the back end YouTube's really trying to separate that or not. But do you think that's the way it should be, or do you think that YouTube should change that?
I mean, I feel like you are more likely to get recommended a long form video from a channel if you've been watching their shorts. Um, as far as should YouTube make it, I feel like it has changed kind of recently, where there are less recommendations happening between shorts and long form videos. I feel like it's safer that way to not recommend as much, because if somebody watches your short and they get suggested your long form video and they don't click on it, then that actually does hurt your video. So maybe on some level, YouTube is aware that shorts and long viewers are not the same. I'm sure it also depends on like the viewer themselves and like, you know, yeah, I'm sure YouTube knows if somebody is watching long form content or if they're only watching short form content. So, yeah, they're not necessarily going to recommend you as many long form videos, especially not from channels that you're already watching. So, I think YouTube's probably smart to be doing this. Like, it's just kind of dangerous to recommend videos that aren't going to get watched. It just generally is bad for channels, even though it seems kind of counterintuitive, right? Like, you'd think getting recommended more would be good, but you want to be recommended to the right people, not to the wrong people. Like, the best thing you can do is get recommended to all the right people. And the worst thing you can do is get recommended to all the wrong people. So I think YouTube is trying to avoid that worst case scenario here.
Yeah, and they're just trying, I think, right at this point, right, all the changes they're making, they're just trying to make the safe bet. They don't want to make any kind of extravagant changes that hurts the experience for viewers on the platform, where they say like, oh, I don't even like YouTube anymore. I'm just going to start watching on TikTok, right? Like a shorts viewer, I like all these longs keep getting recommended to me. I don't even like them. So, they're just making the safe bet. But the reason I'm bringing the whole shorts debate and the whole shorts thing up is because of what Mark Rober has done recently. So in February of 2024, Mark Rober reached 30 million subscribers. Wow, crazy. I know that's a lot. And just 90 days later, he reached 51 million subscribers. So in 90 days, he got 20 million subscribers, and he did it through shorts mostly. So, it's a little bit of a hack or a little bit of a cheat code, I guess, of what he did. But he basically made like I just need one more subscriber to reach 30 million subs. So, that video gets, shows up in people's feed as they're swiping. Oh, you just need one more? Subscribe. Next person. Oh, you just need one more? Okay, subscribe. And then people are like, and then all of a sudden that video is like getting all the signals. Oh, this is a great video. Everyone that watches it hits subscribe. They watch it all the way through. And so he did that. And then he created that same video again when he got to like 40 million. And then when he got to like 50 million. So he just kind of kept that same format, and his channel is just exploded. So I think if you're watching this right now and you're like at 900 subscribers, or you're at like 400 subscribers, or maybe you're at 9,000 subscribers or something, you might want to try to create a short that says like, hey, we only need like 5 more, we only need 100 more, and just see what happens. You never know, because this is not the first time. I've seen a couple channels like literally go from like 10,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers off one short, because these things get so much reach. I mean, they get like 50 million views or something on one short, and the channel just takes off. And there'll be somebody that's like making videos for like 10 years on YouTube and finally got to 10,000 subscribers, and then some random short that they make just boosts them all the way up to 100K, and it's crazy. I don't know. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this whole Mark Rober thing?
I mean, I think that's a genius idea, especially when you're already that big. I think, videos like that are very likely to work when you already have a big audience and you're like, hey, audience, you want to help me out a little bit? And yeah, I think with Mark Rober in particular, like he has a very wide appeal. He's making glitter bomb videos and jelly bean guessing game videos, and like he has a wide appeal. So I feel like those subscribe to my channel shorts would work well for him. Whereas if you had a more narrow focus, like you're just totally talking about programming or something, that might not be as good for your channel. You might end up getting a lot of subscribers who don't end up watching your other videos. But with Mark Rober, I think he's big enough and has a broad enough appeal to where that's a good idea. But if you're listening to this and you have a more narrow appeal, a very clear niche, then I would be careful with that, because you don't want to attract the wrong people.
Yeah, and the post where I read this and on Twitter or X was saying like just more. This is kind of more proof that shorts are not super valuable, because, and here's the kicker to this whole story, is that he, in the last 28 days, he got these 50 million subscribers. He was all good, but in the last 28 days, he only got 66 million long form views. Okay, so that's a lot. I know, 66 million in 28 days, but it's actually down from his average over the past 12 months. Over the past 12 months, he was averaging about 75 million long form views. And then he got this big boost of short subscribers, 20 million of them. and his long form views went down. So I don't know why, but I'm just saying that's just an interesting case study that kind of proves that these subscribers really don't matter, like we said earlier.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. Like, I'm sure it got him some extra attention, some notoriety, and that's all good stuff. But yeah, as far as like pure analytics, seems like in the grand scheme of things, this probably wasn't that helpful in terms of views. But, you know, when you're that big, I think just getting more attention, having people talk about you in that regard is probably useful. But yeah, it's just subscribers in general are kind of overrated. They're like, I think they're a fun metric. I still like that they're there. I don't want the subscribe button to go anywhere. I like being able to know how many subscribers a channel has. I just feel like it's easy. Whereas, because the metric that matters the most is like, how many monthly views are you getting? But even that is kind of like complicated. That feels too complicated than just being like, I have 100,000 subscribers. Bam. You know, there's an appeal to that, even if it is kind of meaningless. Like, I think it means something that you got 100,000 people to press that button. Like, that means something. But as far as the health of your channel, like, you could have 100,000 subscribers, but your videos are getting like 50 views a video because you had one video 10 years ago that did really well. People subscribed to it, and then you just couldn't back it up after that. So it's like that can happen with subscribers. Like, yeah, you got all these subs, but who cares? You know, it just, but it's still fun. It's fun. I like it.
It's fun. It's a little bit maybe of a vanity metric, but I mean, on all these platforms, I mean, all these social media platforms, they're going away from the feed showing you only people that you followed, right? All these feeds are for you. Even on X now, it's like it's a for you feed. So it's just the algorithm showing you what it wants to show you, what it deems as good quality content. So, why do we even have this follow button or subscribe button? It should be like a button that says like, I like this type of content, or like, show me more from this creator. Like, that's really what it should say, not follow or subscribe. It should say like, show me more compared to other people. But yeah, I agree that it needs to be there. And for the creators, I think it's good to know like, oh, this is kind of how big my audience is. But at the same time, you said the most important thing in this whole episode, like the metric that people should talk about is like, how many views per month are you getting? Like, you don't say like, oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel with 100,000 subscribers. Like, you should say, no, I have a YouTube channel that gets 20 million views a month or whatever, because that is definitely much more indicative on how much money you're making and how much lives you're changing and how many more people you're reaching. So yeah, I could definitely see a world where there's no subscribe, there's no follow button on these platforms, and you're just kind of consuming the content. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. I don't want to see that world personally. I like the subscribe button. Like I said, I think it's fun. I think it's an easy metric. Like if I was at a convention or something and I was talking to other YouTubers, I would probably in if my analytics came up or something, I would probably give the views per month number over the subscriber number because those YouTubers understand that that's actually what really matters. But I think to most people who are just watching YouTube for fun or whatever, they see the subscribe number as something important, or it's just easy to remember. I think is probably more accurate. So I think it's good for marketing, branding, whatever. I like being able to wave a flag around. I have this many subscribers. It's useful, but I would not like to see a world where there is no follower button. I also feel like that's sort of even one step closer to having truly everything determined by an algorithm. We're kind of already there, but for some reason, even if it is kind of a vanity metric, I still like having it there. It sort of reminds me of a simpler time, and I want to keep seeing that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think YouTube and all these platforms need to be careful because at this point they're pretty mature, and any changes they make can like turn the community against them. So it's like they're really quick to add this and add that and do that, but it's like the platform has gotten better, I have to admit, but it's like you got to slow down a little bit sometimes, and don't forget about your OGs like us, that want that subscribe button. So all right, let's go ahead and keep this moving to the very last thing, and that's long ultra, they call it ultra long form content, right? So you're talking about long form content, you're talking about YouTube videos, 10 to 20 minutes, talking about short form content, you're talking about shorts, under 60 seconds. And then you have this new term, ultra long form. And that's in the form of mostly video podcasts that this is right here, in that sometimes are 60 minutes, but the really ultra ones, people are like, what are you seeing work today on YouTube? They're like 3 hour long podcasts. Like I heard Graham Stephan said that the other day. What are your thoughts on ultra long form content? Is it important? Should creators be using it?
Mm-hmm. So, should they be using it? I think that always depends. Like, if you're more of a fast tick kind of person, then maybe you should just be making shorts. I would say it's good to know that ultra long form works well. I agree with Graham Stephan that really long videos actually have a great chance of succeeding because, again, watch time is still king on YouTube. And the longer a video is, the more opportunity it has to accumulate watch time because one person can give a 3 hour video 3 hours of watch time. Whereas a 1 minute video, I mean, it would take so many more people to give it that much watch time. So you can kind of see how these ultra long videos have more legs, so to speak. But they're kind of high risk, high reward, is the thing. Like, I think when you're making a podcast and you can kind of just record it and do some simple editing and put it out there, then it's not that risky. But, like, if you're making a video essay that's 3 hours long, you're H bomber guy or something, and you put all this, months into a video, and it just flops. I mean, you're screwed. Which, fortunately for H bomber guy, none of his videos flop. But like that can happen. You put all this time and effort into a video, and it's really long. You did everything right, but it just didn't. I don't know. People just weren't quite feeling it. Some people felt it, they loved it, but not enough of them to watch enough of it to get noticed by the algorithm. And that can happen. So, do I recommend long form, ultra long form content? Yes, but be careful because, we only have so much time.
And I think for ultra long form of these video podcast things, it helps to like kind of already have a brand, already kind of have the authority. Maybe that this starts as your second channel because from what we're seeing on this video podcast, like it's hard to keep that retention for that long. Like people aren't sticking around for the full 60 minutes or whatever. But if you kind of already have that built, right? Like Graham Stephan, right? They came out with the iced coffee hour. People will stick around because they already are fans. Like you have a much better chance, I think, of succeeding right away with the video podcast if you've already got another channel doing pretty well, because people will click over. They're more already kind of programmed to trust you, like you, and want to watch a full 60-minute episode, where the way that we're doing it's a little bit harder, I think, but in time, things will turn around, and I think we will succeed because it just starts with 10 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 200 subscribers, 500. Once you get to 1,000, now you really do have an audience to where if they've consumed a few videos in the past, gotten value, they'll stick around for that full long one. Now you have enough watch time, you have enough viewers where that snowball can start rolling, and you see that kind of exponential growth that we've seen so many channels explode with, right? Where it's like 5 years to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then the next year they're at 100,000 subscribers. So happens so often on YouTube. So you just got to keep building that library of content and just staying consistent, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Amen.
Amen, brother. All right. Well, hey, those are some of the things that actually matter in 2024. Remember, subscribers are not the most important thing anymore. It's about the views. It's about the watch time. Remember that YouTube's looking at viewer satisfaction. Okay, that's a new thing that YouTube's kind of putting together into their algorithm, is like, when somebody watches this video, how do they feel? Are they excited? Did they actually get value from it? Did they watch it all the way through because they liked it, or what? And so those little surveys are starting to pop up. The algorithm's starting to change a little bit to focus on viewer satisfaction. And then, of course, shorts are back. Shorts are hitting hard, but doesn't mean that you're going to actually get more long form views. And the last thing is, hey, if you don't have a video podcast, you should really consider starting a video podcast on YouTube, because that's kind of the future, I think, of YouTube. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit subscribe. If you're listening on any other platform, you can follow us there as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.